Hi! Did you know honey is a great addition to many of your favorite recipes? Today I'm baking one of my favorites, my everyday peanut butter cookies. And because we're adding honey to the recipe, these cookies will be rich and chewy, they'll stay fresh longer, and they'll taste even better. As a rule of thumb, honey can be substituted for up to half of the sugar called for in a recipe. For example, my original peanut butter cookies call for 2 cups of granulated sugar. We'll substitute one of those cups with 1 cup of honey. Measuring honey can be both tricky and sticky. Simply spray a liquid measuring cup with cooking spray. Then pour the honey into the measuring cup to the correct amount, which is 1 cup of honey for this recipe. Now we'll pour the honey into the mixing bowl. It will slide right out, and cleanup will be easier too. Now let's add 1 cup peanut butter and 1/2 cup shortening. Beat on medium speed until creamy. Then we'll add 2 large eggs and we'll beat until light and fluffy. Now earlier I mentioned that measuring honey can be tricky. Keep in mind, honey is 1.5 times heavier by weight than water. Because of this, it takes a 12-ounce jar, not an 8-ounce jar, to equal 1 measuring cup of honey. This is important to keep in mind when buying honey, this way you won't end up short. Next we'll combine the dry ingredients. I've already measured out 3 cups of all-purpose flour. To that I'll add 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. We'll whisk these together to combine. Now we'll add the flour mixture to the honey peanut butter mixture 1 cup at a time and beat on low speed. Now keep in mind, since we're substituting honey for half of the sugar, we will usually need to add more flour and baking soda to the recipe. We need more flour to achieve the correct consistency, and adding more baking soda will help keep the cookies from over-browning. One of the great things about baking with Burleson's honey is that it provides a wide variety of nutrients plus antioxidants in trace amounts. Now we'll need to chill this cookie dough for at least 1 hour, so we'll cover it and place it in the refrigerator. Now that our cookie dough is chilled, we're ready to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Now that's 25 degrees lower than our original recipe because we're substituting half of the sugar with honey. Now while the oven is preheating, let's begin scooping the chilled dough into 1-inch balls. I like using a cookie scoop to do this. We'll roll the balls in additional sugar and place them back on the parchment paper. Parchment paper is really good to use because it keeps the cookies from sticking to them. We'll flatten these cookies then with the bottom of a glass dipped in sugar so it doesn't stick to the glass. We'll do it each time. And this will actually cause the cookies to crinkle a little bit when baked. Now we'll bake them for 8 or 9 minutes, or just until they're beginning to turn golden brown. Be careful not to overbake these cookies. While the first sheet of cookies is baking, I'd like to show you a special holiday technique. After you've flattened the balls of cookie dough on the cookie sheet, you can use a small cookie cutter to create a design in the center. First, dip the cutter in sugar, then press into the center of the cookie. We'll do a couple of leaves for Thanksgiving or a fall harvest party. Now we can do a few Christmas trees for a Christmas party. You can make this cookie to fit any season. Oh, it sounds like the cookies are done. We'll place the cookie sheet on a wire rack to cool for 5 minutes. Then we'll remove the cookies and place them directly on the rack to cool completely. Here are the baked cookies, both the everyday honey peanut butter cookies and the holiday version. Now all we need is a glass of milk. Now because of Burleson's honey's ability to hold in moisture, these cookies will stay soft and chewy and great tasting for up to 3 weeks. That is, if they last that long. It's the perfect cookie for every day and for all the holidays.